Welcome back. President Biden's re-election campaign hosted a pickleball tournament in Northern Virginia today, part of its rollout of a coalition targeting older Americans. Now, younger Americans play pickleball too. And a warning to all viewers, this following clip might be triggering a little bit for that annoying, high-pitched pop synonymous with pickleball. Take a listen. Don't worry, my ears have stopped bleeding. Anyway, between 20 and 30 seniors from the Manassas area attended this morning's event. Our Aaron Navarro joins us now. Aaron looks as if he is dressed in the Ralph Lauren-approved Wimbledon pickleball collection. Ralph Lauren not a sponsor of this program, at least not yet. Aaron, great to see you. What was the upshot and the atmosphere at this pickleball outreach today?
Major, pretty festive, almost Wimbledon-like, just at a much smaller scale. But this voting block is crucial for President Biden. He overperformed recent Democratic candidates in 2020, just a 5-point gap between himself and former President Trump in our 2020 exit poll. And there are more than 10 million voters 65 and older across the battleground states, according to census data. And that's why you're seeing the Biden campaign do bingo nights in Arizona, phone banks in senior centers, and yes, pickleball tournaments here in Virginia. I talked to the Manassas, Virginia mayor about the importance of the senior vote and why they're courting them. Take a listen to what she had to tell me.
We know that our seniors are where it happens. They're the ones that can get our citizens motivated to vote, out to vote, get their children, grandchildren, all their friends and neighbors because they like to talk. They're sitting around watching TV most of the day. So stays on the news channel all day long. They're hearing about all the polls. It is not deterring anyone from what they know they have to do come November. Some have already said, can we vote now? Early voting hasn't started yet, so got to get through the primaries, but they're very excited and very energized.
And this is a group of voters that the Biden campaign can work with. If you look in our CBS News polling from earlier this month, Trump does have a double-digit lead when it comes to these voters. But again, he's done better with this group of voters compared to other Democratic presidents in the past, and he's looking to repeat that this November.
Aaron, as you well know, recent CBS News polling data shows that former President Trump does fare right now better than President Biden in terms of registered voters' perceptions of their cognitive abilities. I understand you had a chance to talk to some of the people there about that. What did they tell you?
Now, most of these voters that I talked to, both at the pickleball tournament and here at this early voting site in Haymarket, Virginia, leaned Democratic. But when I asked them about age and also that question about if they believe President Biden can be competent in a second term, they brought up, one, that Trump is not that much younger, and two, that other issues might take precedent. Take a listen to what these voters had to tell me.
Maybe as an older person or whatever, I see their ages so negligibly, so similar. That's not even really a relevant issue for me. What I see is more the complete diversity of their worldview. Like Trump is very kind of cruel and backward looking and wants to roll back progress, and he's mean-spirited.
He's old. They're both old. I wish we had younger people running. I think it's disturbing that we haven't cultivated younger leadership, but I also think he's competent.
Now, that contrast between Biden and Trump is something First Lady Joe Biden is going to highlight as she goes to Arizona, Nevada, and Wisconsin, among other states, later this week for events around the Seniors for Biden-Harris coalition.
Aaron Navarro, thank you. And just to note, that is an early voting site for the Virginia primary, not early voting for the general election. Aaron Navarro, thanks very much. I want to bring in our political panel. Kevin Sheridan and Chuck Rocha join me here at the table. Kevin previously served spokesperson for the Republican National Committee and was a senior advisor for the Romney-Ryan campaign back in 2012. Chuck is a Democratic strategist who worked on Senator Bernie Sanders' 2020 presidential campaign. Great to see you both. Pickleball is the way to seniors' hearts, Kevin Sheridan?
Yeah, I've done a lot of campaign events. I've never
feel like a stretch to you?
Seen one like this. The pancake breakfast that's in New Hampshire, the pickleball in Virginia. I mean, I guess this is a primary play, but I think they're really worried about Virginia. I think they're starting to get worried about some of the blue states like New Hampshire. But if they're opening offices in these places, they must be seeing the same numbers everybody else is and getting really worried that these states are in play now.
Chuck, a sign of concern with the Biden campaign that it's spending any time in June in Manassas, Virginia, Northern Virginia?
Here's what concerns me is you used to have me on this program to talk about young people, and now we're talking about old folks in pickleball. That's what's concerning to me. The second thing I want to tell you, Major, is for the first time in my political career, I had a campaign this year say, can we put the logo on a pickleball paddle? This has become a thing. People do this. Old folks love it. So I love any time that Biden or any other campaign's trying to be culturally relevant in a demographic, whether we're in Virginia, New Hampshire, or anywhere else. I think just being out and showing active campaigning, especially around the primary that's fixing to happen in Virginia, is a good thing.
Are you nervous about the president's reelection prospects in a state like Virginia?
I'm a Democrat. I'm nervous every day, no
No,
matter
come
what.
on. That's a standard answer. Seriously. You know it's a matter of resources, allocation, attention.
If we're
It's
spending
finite.
money,
It's finite.
Major, you know this. If I'm spending money, if Democrats are spending money on the president in Virginia, we're in a world of hurt. Now, watch how the TV spend is going. Having a pickleball tournament is much different than buying $1 million worth of TV. If we start buying TV in Virginia, things are going the wrong way.
You would agree with that, Kevin?
Yeah, totally.
And you think Democrats should probably spend money in Virginia?
I think
Does it feel vulnerable to you?
These numbers are starting to look.
What are you talking about?
All the state polling numbers that we're seeing are very good for Donald Trump, including in states that were previously assumed to go blue. Virginia being the
Virginia,
number one.
New Hampshire, possibly Minnesota.
Yeah, and if those are in play, that means the blue wall states are really tipped over now. Wisconsin,
Pennsylvania, Michigan.
Pennsylvania. He needs one of those to win.
Former President Trump.
Yeah, right. So if those states are an indication that things are getting close in places like Virginia, that's ball game.
And Chuck, when you hear Kevin talk about it in those terms, do you agree or disagree fundamentally, looking at the underlying realities of this race as they currently present themselves?
Look, I've been running campaigns for 34 years. Me and you've had lots of conversation. We're in June, for God's sakes. There's going to be polls all over the place where you're going to see, and you can look right now. You can look right now where Joe Biden and Donald Trump has spent their money, and it's in the 6 battleground states, the blue wall that y'all talked about, including then Arizona, including Nevada, including Georgia. That's where you should watch. That's where most of this. Can Minnesota start playing around a little bit, or Virginia? That could be, but until you see a media buy, I'm going to stay centered on those 6 states.
Do you think, Chuck Rocha, the conviction yesterday on 3 counts against the president's son, Hunter Biden, in any way, shape, or form influences the politics of this campaign?
I don't. I think that one thing that it does do, though, Major, is I think that instead of him being the president or a former president like Donald Trump was, I think it gives an opportunity for Joe Biden to show more compassion and show what it's like to see a father and a son who's been through a lot of struggle, who got punished for something that he did. But when he gets to be fatherly and show empathy, it's always a power move for Joe Biden because it just comes so natural to him.
Kevin, does it in any way defang the Republican mantra that there is a 2-tier system of justice?
No.
It does not?
No. The prosecutor sat on this case from 2018 and brought it because the deal fell apart when the judge started asking questions. Republicans are so animated about this issue, I can't even express it. They do not think that this is, this is ultimate justice because there's much more serious charges against Hunter Biden and the entire Biden family, and that's what they want.
Not charges, allegations.
Yeah, allegations.
And Hunter Biden will face another reckoning in California at a federal trial scheduled for September and October.
And Joe Biden should be much more concerned about that one because that's going to bring in all of the shell companies and all of the business that the family was doing.
Because it's a tax case.
Yeah. So that could expose a lot more to the American people.
And listening to you, it sounds as if all of this were true, House Republicans would be farther down the stream in terms of either impeachment articles or process thereafter, and they're not. Democrats say that's because they have lots of allegations and very little substantive evidence.
Well, they've done some good work in the committees, and they've brought to light a lot of this stuff, and that's the reason why I think the charges were even brought in California was based on those investigations. But look, we know the laptop's real. We know everything on it is real now. Impeachment is obviously a very risky play, and I don't think they're there yet.
Kevin Sheridan, Chuck Rocha, thank you very much.